All right, all right. Hello, everybody. All eyes on me. Let me see. Yeah, I got it. All eyes on me. All right, this is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. And we are continuing with Chapter 8. And I just saw that there's going to be some more videos on Chapter 8. It was probably maybe 2 or 3 more videos that I'm breaking down stuff. But Chapter 8 is very, very, very important. The title of it is, Hey Mister, You Forgot Something. And what this was talking about was, as I was making my way through life, before baseball, during baseball, after baseball, there was a major component missing. When it was there, I was successful because I knew why I wanted to do something. But then there were times where that why was not there, and it was blatantly obvious the results in my life. Just definitely crashed and burned. But what I want to share with, I want to share an experience, but I want to, kind of set it up. Is that what I look at is that we are actually working for the universe, or more. In another way to look at it is that we have submitted our application. When we're trying to move to the next level, let me preface that. When we're trying to move to the next level, we understand that we are actually becoming employed to the universe and no longer our bosses. Okay? And I said we are submitting an application to the Universal Job Board. Now, how I came up with that understanding was that when you are working at a particular job and the job has particular standards and they have a set pay, if you want to move to the next level of pay, if you want to get paid more for than what you're doing, you have to then do more than that job requires. So that means your standards are not just coming in and doing exactly what the job entails. You have to go above and beyond. Excuse me. Because I believe at that point, you are now making the connection with the Universal Job Board, and you are now submitting your application. Now, how do I come up with this this understanding? It's not just me. This is from things that I've read and people that I've spoken to that are trying to move to the next level in their lives. Is that it's a saying, what you are to be, you are now becoming. So if all your standards are is just to show up at the job and do just what the job requires, can you really expect them to just come in there and say, you know what, we just like you? And we got too many people out there that are operating in that space, doing just, trying to get a hookup. And when people say a hookup, they are really just saying to themselves, I do not want to put forth the maximum effort. I do not want to put forth any extra or going outside of what I need to be doing to get what I'm asking for. I want to just have somebody know me or whatever, and that be good enough. And if you operated from that space, because what you want to do is try to compare yourself to, say, a celebrity. Well, that celebrity has done the work. Whatever they did to market themselves and get themselves out there, now they're going to take advantage of their celebrity status. I'm not hating on that at all. But in other cases, we're talking about, oh man, my boy hooked me up and all this stuff, and you ain't doing nothing. You just, by proximity, that's what you're wanting. But what I am telling you is that in most of our cases, if we want to get paid more for what we do, we have to do more than what we're doing currently, or what that job description lays out. Okay? There's no reason anybody's going to pay you more for a job, and they look at the criteria and look at what you're doing and just go, yeah, this person just does enough, and keep a job. He's doing all right. He isn't going outside the box doing anything. All right. So again, whatever the standards for the job is, first and foremost, you say, okay, if the job says I must make X amount of calls, X amount of sales, I must do X, 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 X. Okay, how about you see if you can double it? If it says you need to make 10 sales a month, make 20 sales a month. Don't even make it close. If they say you need to make 100 calls a day, make 200 calls a day. If they say you need to get out and do 5 face-to-faces a week, how about do 10? Why not? You want to do you just want the job just to be sitting there? Or do you actually want to maximize that job and then open yourself up for other opportunities? As I was saying before, you then, once you go above and beyond your job, you are now sending your application in to the Universal Job Board. Now let me give you an example of a job I had where this scenario plays right into it. Hey, I open my tax business, and then I have a person see my magnet on the side of my car, ask me if I could help him with his taxes. I said, yes, I can. 2 or 3 months later, time goes by, and he calls me and says, hey, can you help me with my taxes? I start doing his taxes, and I come to find out that he is the owner of a transportation company that I have right now. Okay, there is a connection there. And I saw the numbers, and I asked him politely, I said, hey, show me this business. Reluctantly, he was, nah, I'm not going to show you the business. Because I think he saw where I might possibly go. But he said, no, I won't show you the business, but if you want to drive for me, you can drive for me, and I'll pay you. And I'm like, man, they ain't driving for nobody. I've always had these dreams of never driving again, being chauffeured around in a Rolls Royce limousine or something, never driving a vehicle again, because I like to read. And the bulk of a lot of our days are commuting to and from some place. So it cuts into a lot of our time. So I want that time where I can just sit back in a car and just read. On all these 20, 30-minute trips I'm making, I could pull out a book, I could do something, and I can, by the end of the year, I could have read, ton of stuff. All right, so that's my goal. So I didn't want to drive, but I started driving because I said, what better way to learn this business by driving for him? So I began driving, but I said, in about a year, once I get all this down, I'm going to go on my own. And so during that first year, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And it's not that I was learning a new job, which was frustrating in itself, all the nuances of driving, the airport, the different streets and all the other stuff. I think back to that time and just like, goodness gracious, I mean, I'm a master of it now. But he was horrible. He was one of the worst bosses I've ever had. Why? And it could be several reasons, but I'll just focus on this. Everything that I did, it just did not seem good enough. If I got a compliment from a client, he'd find something else wrong. And when I would turn in the car back to his house or the company or whatever, he would nitpick about something. Oh, you didn't clean up this, you didn't clean up that. And it started wearing on me. And then finally one day I just sat and I said, man, what if I raise my standards? What if I say, Carlton, you're going to be the best employee this company has ever had. Your standard of excellence is going to be so high that whatever standard he has, there's no way in the world I won't hit his standards before I reach mine. So that's what I did. I raised my standards so high as far as cleanliness of the car, being on time, my dress, my everything was at such a high level, there was nothing else for him to say. Okay? And so, as I said before, because I raised my standards so high, I actually was now submitting my application to the Universal Job Board. And how it came about was I didn't work for him for 1 year. I actually committed to working him for 2. So after the 2 years, what I did was I wrote him a letter of resignation, but it wasn't a 2-week notice. I gave him 90 days. I said, in 90 days, I am going to be leaving the company. So I said, I know how tough it is to have people in this position as far as drivers. It's very tough. Even with me now, I have my own company. It's tough to find good drivers. So I gave him 90 days. I said, hey, I'll help you. I'll try to find other people. I said, but I am leaving. And what I also did was I realized that he didn't have an employee manual. He didn't have the basic things that he should have. So I wrote him an employee manual. And I also told him and explained to him that if you have a driver that goes on their own, if you've not had them sign a non-competing clause, he can go after your clients. He can, and he's not gonna, but and the thing is, I explained that to him, but I didn't do that. I have not touched any of his clients. Maybe sometime down the road I may do some sort of marketing and just check in and say, hey, how you guys doing? Are you happy with what he has? If not, here's something else that I may offer. But I won't do that for at least a couple more years as I'm building my own business and I'm doing well. I'm comfortable. I could use some more things, but I have a strategy that I'm going after. But what I want to make sure that I talk about is that if you want to get paid for more than what you are getting paid right now, first of all, whatever that corporate job is, you better be doing more than what is required. Everybody knows. I used to be in the online for-profit higher ed industry, and they had these quotas every day, every week, every month. And I got so good at it that it actually became very boring, which was one of the reasons why I moved out of it, along with my felony conviction becoming an issue. But as far as the productivity, I was one of the top performers when I first got in the industry. Then I got burned out, and then my performance just did not meet the standards. But what I did was I made sure that I raised. Hold on, let me see. I gotta be out of here in a little bit. I raised my level of productivity to a level within this transportation company that I knew I couldn't be touched. Whatever he wanted, it was already done early on, or just whatever. Everything I always went above and beyond. So that actually lent itself to me opening my own business, knowing what I needed, because I was complaining about the pay of working and the hours. And I said, I need to be able to take control of that. So it allows me the flexibility to spend time with my kids, to work out, to do all the things, and I'm reaping the entire, all the benefits of being a business owner. So that was very gratifying for me as I was going through that whole phase. I learned something, and so now that's why I'm sharing with anybody is that don't sit around pouting, expecting someone else to know what you're worth. Who knows what you're worth? The universe. And the universe will respond every single time. Universe will not respond to any pouting. Universe will not respond to any bitching and moaning. The universe will respond to you taking action and doing more than what your job, because the universe knows what the job requirements, because they said it. They say this is your pay and this is what you should be doing. And it's very easy to look at that and say, I'm going to do more than what the job requires. They have to pay you more. Have to. If they don't, this is the blessing of that. If they don't, because your energy and your intent is out there for all to see, somebody will make an offer to you. Some sort of situation will come about to where you will be able to be compensated more than what you're being compensated right there. Now you've moved up to another level. So now if you want to up it again, you have to do the same thing. But if you are absolutely paying attention and you're aware of what you just did, like what I did, then I know that term now, level up. If I want to level up from where I'm at right now, there's certain things I need to do. All right? So now, here's the challenge. And then we talked about it. Quite simply, wherever you are working, look at the standard of what is required in the job. Now, let's not start bitching and moaning and complaining and saying, well, somebody got this or they're kissing this person's ass. That doesn't even matter. Because if that's what you're doing, you're focusing right on the problem and not working on the solution. And the solution is take your position, do more, do twice as much, make twice as many calls, make twice as many face-to-face meetings. Just do twice as much as what you're doing. Get there an hour early, not just to get in on the clock. Get in there and don't punch in. Get yourself ready so that if your shift starts at 7, get there at 6:15. Take your 15 minutes to get some coffee, get your mind right, whatever. Straighten up your desk so that when the 7 o'clock bell, boom, you clock in and you are given a full 40 hours that week. Guarantee you'll be better, because there's a lot of bullshit. I've been in corporate America. Man, you have 40 hours in a week, and I would say that the majority of the people are bullshitting and probably putting in maybe 20, 25 good hours of work. That's 15 minutes of hours that you done just blew off. Okay? Now, so work your 40 hours, but try to do maximum. Whatever your maximum is, max out the 40 hours. Max out the calls. Max out whatever it is that you're doing, so that every day, every week, you can see that you are above and beyond what you're supposed to be doing. Because I guarantee you will get, you will have production. Don't try to fake it. I'm making this clear. Don't just try to show up and say, I'm here. No. Get there with that plan and execute that plan to the max, and you will be rewarded. All right? So that's the challenge. Max out your hours that you're working. Try to do twice as much as you can, or just try to do, just max out every day. That's my challenge to you. That's what I said. Ask yourself the 3 questions. Set your goals. Set your goal, your standards for yourself higher than what's at your job. Go out for it. And then try to max out everything every day, because then that work increase, that production increase is going to make a pay increase. Whether your boss wants to give it to you or somebody else recognize that you're doing more than you're being paid for. All right, this is Carlton Hamilton. Plan your greatness. I'm going to say this again. Plan your greatness. You know why? Because no one else will. All right. See y'all next time.